Hey buddy, watch out. Hey buddy, go get it. Howdy guys, I'm Jason Lewis, and today on the Adventure Ram build up here, this thing gets the shaft, actually 2 tomwoods drive shafts for the win today. Come on in, let me show you what we're doing. Here's the quick rundown of exactly what we're working with in this video. My 2009 Dodge Ram 1500 truck. Yes guys, it's the last year before they became just Ram trucks. It's an old magazine project vehicle and has been through a lot. I bought the truck from Motor Trend with a wounded engine and have been rebuilding the Ram into the form of a long-range adventure rig. That means replacing and upgrading many of the components with reliability and strength in mind. The Jasper engine's 5.7 Hemi replacement has been flawless so far. TR beadlock wheels and 37-inch Falcon Wild Peak tires offer a confidence-inspiring footprint and stunning good looks. Icon Vehicle Dynamic suspension makes the truck handle the rough stuff like it was designed for it. My power stop brakes give me phenomenal stopping power and make me wonder why I didn't do that upgrade first. The RCV front axle shafts offer the peace of mind I'm looking for when heading off into the backcountry. After breaking 2 stock CV axles and getting stuck, a set of the strongest axles on the planet makes me feel much better about this. There's our RCV axles. Those things are doing fantastic. Talk about making things bulletproof and peace of mind. That's what this is all about. And the final link in the driveline overhaul of the truck is to give it a couple of woodies. I know that sounds a little weird guys, but trust me on this one. The stock transfer case was swapped out years ago for this 4:1 Jeep Rubicon unit, and then a 2-piece rear drive shaft was installed. Now the thought here is really quite great in the sense that this right here would give you more angle or more protection of your drive shaft as you climb over rocks, since this vehicle has an insanely long wheelbase. Or not insanely long, it just has a long wheelbase, so it's not a rock crawler, but this might give you that. I mean, if you can see, this thing right here has been hit and has been bent. That bend isn't what prompted today's install. The fact that the carrier bearing mount was completely shredded forced this repair to the top of the to-do list. You know, when I was talking to Sean at tomwoods Driveshafts, it was one of those things, he's like, you know, you could make another one of these things, but you're just adding complication and expense. After carefully eyeballing the profile and trajectory of that rear drive shaft, it didn't appear that going back to a one-piece shaft would lose us much, if any, ground clearance, especially given the fact that the plastic fuel tank is the weakest low-hanging fruit at this part of the truck anyway. It does have a bit of a relief right here, so we'll see. We're gonna get this drive shaft in, and we're gonna have to do a little surgery, cut this bar out, but let's get this thing pulled out. Uno. All right, let's get these off. All right, let's move to the back. All right, let's get this thing out of here and we'll compare it to the new shaft. All right, and out it goes. Let's go compare. So you can see the basic construction of the front drive shafts are very similar. 1330 U-joints, double cardan at the transfer case, and then a flange style at the front differential. And then here's where the big differences come in. It's the rear. Obviously we're taking out the 2-piece drive shaft with this carrier bearing in the center here. Now the thoughts again are, simplicity, one less thing to fail in your drive shaft when you're out in the middle of the trail wheeling. Now we're about to find out, we're gonna have to cut out that cross member, but we're about to find out how much clearance we might have lost, we might not have. It doesn't look to my eye that we might have lost that much. So this could be a really fun kind of upgrade. Even though it's a step back to stock, it just will take out this one semi-complicated piece. And by stock, I simply meant one-piece style drive shaft. And here are the specs. Standard slip neck with a 4-inch tube, 1350 U-joints and flanges on both ends, and 73.5 inches long. If you've watched any of my Jeep videos, you already know how much of a fan I am of the tomwoods custom drive shafts I'm running on that rig, so you'll understand why they were my first call when it was time to upgrade the Ram. After a quick consultation with Sean and a few measurements were sent, these things showed up at my house in about 3 days. Boom! Peace of mind in tube form.
Pinto, you're gonna help? You're just gonna chew your Frisbee up the rest of the way. I guess that's the case here.
All right, coming in with some front drive shaft goodness. Now, let's get this thing kind of tucked up into place here. Now, I put a little bit of red Loctite on all my bolts. I just figure for all my drivetrain components, I don't want them to go anywhere. Last bolt. So you can see that swapping the front when you're not changing your flanges or your yokes is pretty easy. Same with the rear on this install. So what we're going to do now is just lock the transfer case into four-wheel drive. We're going to put this thing into park, and then we'll put this into 4 low, and we'll go and tighten that thing now. I tighten bolts to 50 foot-pounds on mounts with a flange and 20 on mounts with a yoke. But since I can't get my torque wrench up into this particular spot, I have to do that with the calibrated elbow in these back ones because I can't get the torque wrench up in here. But that wraps up the front. Now, let's cut some metal in the back, see if we can get that rear drive shaft in. So it's Sawzall time. And I buzzed each end off of the crossbar to get it out of the way. And I'll be honest here, I'm kind of glad to get rid of this piece. Special delivery, rear drive shaft, inbound. Okay, we're gonna set that end down there. We're gonna get this end up into place. Hope all our measurements are right again on the flanges. Remember, red Loctite. Huh, they all started without any drama. That's rare for me, but I'll take it. Let's buzz them down just a little bit. Let's go to the back. Okay. Get that started. Now, since these are both flanged, we go 50 foot-pounds on that. All right, last two. Okay, that's it. So both drive shafts are installed and looking good. Let's check our clearances here and see if we lost anything. I can kind of tell you right now, we didn't. And we just beefed up our drivetrain. This is great. Let's check it out. The new drive shafts are extremely strong and look great in place. Now for the comparison shot. You can see in the top video that the one-piece shaft is a bit lower than the two-piece, but stays above the gas tank in about the same areas. If you're rubbing rocks, you're rubbing your tank right here, and your drive shaft. So, you know, for what this truck is, it's not a rock crawler. I think this is a perfect way to go back to a one-piece drive shaft here. So there it is. We just bolted in a big old chunk of peace of mind under the truck. Both front and rear tomwoods drive shafts done. Now we'll take it out in the field. We'll see how it does. And I won't be so long like I did on the Jeep to check in with you and let you know how this performs and how it does. So until next time, enjoy your drive. Thanks for watching. Woohoo.